Hey everyone, it's Elianto, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Octopath Traveler for the Nintendo Switch and the PC. Octopath Traveler has you following with 8 different travelers, which each having their own individual different traits, such as a dancer, a warrior, a thief, and an apothecary. So gameplay is pretty typical turn-based RPG stuff, where you have your HP, you have your spell attacks, and a new mechanic in the game is called your battle points. So battle points are a scale from 1 to 4, which you gain a battle point after each set of turns, and these battle points can be charged for either a more enhanced attack, a more enhanced special ability, or if you maxed out to the max level, which is level 4, you can do this thing called a divine skill, which is a skill that is specific to each trait. So for example, a warrior is known for dealing damage, so he will have a divine skill that's more focused on dealing damage. So the only thing I really liked about this game was the presentation, because the presentation is some of the most unique presentation I've seen recently. So it is a mixture of 2D and 3D art styles to give you this nice 2.5D mix. And I believe that all future RPGs that want to have that sort of bit style should have this specific art style, because it's just so beautiful what they can do with the environments and how they can make things 3D but still in a 2D setting. So there are 4 critiques I will get into for this game, starting with the story. The story of this game for every character is pretty laughable, to say the least. So in this game, each character only has 4 chapters in their entire journey, which pretty much follow the same template of going out on your journey, finding some information, finding more information in the trader, and ultimately defeating the enemy in the final act. The problem with this is the writing does not hold up to each character, and you have a lot of dumb moments in this game that could have just been remedied by an extra chapter or 2 for each character. And if that was too much for them, they would have just had to reduce the party member size by 1 or 2 and give an extra chapter for each of the rest of the characters. So my first critique of this game is that the story and the writing are pretty laughable for each character, to say the least. And what do I mean by that? Well, because there are only 4 chapters for each character out of 8, that means that they have to rush a lot of development and also have to kind of recycle the template each character has. So the first chapter pretty much is something happens to you that makes you go on your journey. Chapter 2 is something that you just find more information about what you're looking for. Chapter 3 is find more information, and you find out who the traitor, who 99.9% of the time is somebody from the very first chapter. And then in the 4th chapter, you go and defeat the enemy and have a good day. Well, not only that is an issue, but some of the things that happen in the 4th chapter for some characters are pretty laughable. So the one that always comes to my mind is Tessa, who is a merchant, who has a notebook that is very near and dear to her because that's what she found one day, and that's was something that she pretty much wanted to see the world, because the notebook wrote about stuff that happened in the world. So this woman, who you've never seen before, so you obviously know that she's the villain at this point in the game, comes up to her and simply asks her to see the book, and without even getting her name, Tessa gives her the book, and she literally says, okay, this is mine now, I'm taking it. And I was just so puzzled by that, because something that sparked you to go on your journey, you just let go that quickly with no hesitation. And that just really irked me the wrong way. It was just really, really dumb. So the gameplay flaws of this game are the farming definitely breaks the pace of this game to a screeching halt. So each chapter has a level jump of around 12 levels, and because there's no shared XP in this game, you have to spend hours and hours farming. But what that also means that when you're done a chapter, you feel a sense of sadness, because that means that you got to farm for another 2 to 3 hours. And out of the 60 hours I put in this game, I guarantee you at least a third of that time will be spent farming in this game. The reason why you want shared XP as well is you can diversify your party. So if there's a boss that you encounter that your party's too weak towards, you can swap them out with someone that is more stronger, and you don't have to farm for hours and hours to catch them up to the rest of your party levels. So it was really confusing to me why they decided to do this when most other RPGs today have shared experience of some sort. So another gameplay fault I have for this game is the interactions you have with your party members, because a lot of RPGs are about the interactions you have with your party members, because you're on this very long journey, and you, especially if you have party members, you want to feel like they're with you, and you don't want them to feel like they're just there. So things like Persona and Xenoblade 2 do a great job of this. But Octopath has a half solution, I would say. So they have this thing called travel banter, which usually happens throughout different points of a chapter for the main party member, where you have conversations about something, you may find out some more information about stuff. But when you beat the game, you start having travel banter in the bar. You don't have these travel banters throughout the game, and that really puzzled me, because that made me realize that they could have simply focused all of their party banter at the bar, because you're usually there all the time. Not only that, but my main solution would be to put all the shops in one building and have all the party banter there, because you are going to be there a lot of the time. you're going to be there a lot of the time. So that means that they can put all their focus on party banter and unique in different ways. And my last critique kind of puts all this together is the lack of resolve and lack of payoff in the final act of the game. The final act of the game is probably the easiest part of the game for me. With the addition of secondary jobs in the game, which allows you to assign an additional trait to each character, which means that you can simply just assign traits that aren't in your existing party because they decide to create the same number of jobs as the same number of party members. If they maybe had an additional job or additional job or two that you have to maybe have a trade-off for, because that means that you actually have a sense of depth because you have to decide which jobs are more important to you in that specific situation. So these secondary jobs mean that you can have more weapons, you can have more spells, you can have more abilities, ultimately things that will help you take down bosses in a quicker fashion. And that resulted in an endgame that was very easy, to the point where for around 6 of the 8 bosses in the game, I questioned, is this the game? Like, is that it? Because these bosses were laughably easy, and I was not that much over leveled. The only member that was sort of over leveled was my main member, because I could not swap him until I beat his path. All in all, Octopath, is safe to say that this is definitely one of the worst games I've played and one of the most flawed games I've played. The presentation is the only thing holding this game up. Besides, this game would be a total and absolute failure to me. I just think that there was just a lot of flaws and a lot of lack of focus in the game, because they spread themselves too thin with 8 members. If they had a bit less party members, maybe 6 or 5, and maybe if they had 6 party members, have a party member size of 3, things like that would help create more chapters, create more banter, just have a more focused story for each character. So with that being said, I will be giving this game a score of 4 out of 10, because anything lower than a 4 requires the game to not be working, and this game worked from start to finish. It's just that the story and the gameplay were not up to par in the slightest. So I hope you guys enjoyed my review of Octopath Traveler for Nintendo Switch and the PC. I apologize for not being able to capture gameplay, but I hope that the gameplay on screen was more entertaining to you guys than me farming an Octopath for 10 minutes, because by the time I would have captured gameplay, that's all I would have gotten from it. So I hope you guys enjoyed what I had to show. I hope you guys hit a like, comment, and if you like my style review, subscribe. And I hope to see you guys on the next video and on my next review. Alright, take care, guys.